always believed to be a stronger species. Man, who everybody wants to be protected and provided by. Man, who is never expected to cry. Man, who may be a father, a brother, a husband, a son, or just anybody on the street. Man who sacrifices his own self but is never respected. With the hope that a day will come when the world will realize that men are human too. There can't be peace and harmony in the society where men are bashed, hated, demonized, and looked down upon just because of their gender. There is a movement which is taking place, a movement which will mark history in many ways in the times to come.
It's about a common man who is every day putting in all the efforts to make this society a better place to live in. But there is no structural support for him. There is no acknowledgement of his efforts. We need a voice for this man in the government in the form of Ministry for Men Welfare or National Commission for Men.
In the history of men's rights movement, there have been various kinds of protests, small or big, in various parts of the country and also overseas. But this time there was a determination to do something at a scale that becomes a benchmark for the MRM globally.
We organized this dharna to make ourselves heard. The politicians, bureaucrats, judiciary, members of parliaments, everybody has ignored us deliberately, continuously. People from all parts of the country, all backgrounds have come together to protest against inhuman, draconian laws. Why do we have this muddled, lopsided concept of gender equality? Why do we continue vilifying men and boys in the name of women empowerment?
To take the Save Indian Family movement to the next level, it was really important that all these victims and the activists across the country should come together in a way like never before and have a peaceful protest. Satyagrah for Men, as we called it.
So as the announcement was made on various social networking platforms about the Satyagrah for Men, there was a spurt of calls and messages by activists who wanted to work on various fronts to make this event a success. There were ideas shared, blueprints made, meetings took place, teams were formed, WhatsApp groups were made for different activities, promotions, creatives, awareness, media PR, arrangements, and the passion started flowing.
We've been running the only All India helpline for men in distress in India. Our volunteers, they get thousands of calls each month from men and their families who've been victimized from the misuse of the gender-biased laws. Apart from this, we are also running free weekly support group meetings at over 25 locations in India. Now when these men and their families, they call us up and they join our groups, they are offered free help and support without expecting anything from them. So most people find a lot of solace in our groups and they have this urge to give back to the movement, to work for the cause.
As expected, it gained momentum in no time, wherein activists from all over the country were talking about it, wanting to be a part of this mega event, and the support started pouring in. Teams from various chapters of the Save Indian Family movement from Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and other parts of the country started making their travel arrangements as if it was one big family coming together for an occasion never to be missed.
These are the men suffering from domestic violence, towards misuse of gender-biased laws, misuse of rape laws, misuse of 498A. There are a whole lot of problems that men are facing. And we get all this on our helpline numbers. And these men, they have no voice for them on the government. We need this voice. These are the voiceless men.
On the other side, the organizing team was burning the midnight oil while people from all walks of life came together. and after their long working hours, they used to meet up and put posters on the streets. The city roads were all full of posters with the hard work of these super activists.
We started getting calls as if people were waiting for something like this to happen. There were people calling up and offering help. They were saying that we want to do the designing work. Somebody said that we want to arrange the water. Somebody said we want to arrange the food and other arrangements. So there were times in action, a plan made, there were teams formed, and things started rolling like never before.
There was a dedicated team of creative people with skills such as graphic design, cartoon making, cinematographers, script writers, editors, animators, who were coming up with promotional creatives dedicated to this Satyagrah almost every day. Normally, for such rallies by political parties, groups or funded organizations, it takes a lot of money, professional help, and sometimes event management companies are hired to organize such magnificent events. But what was happening here was purely out of passion, brotherhood and togetherness.
The calls on the helpline have increased many folds. The strength of the weekly meetings across India has gone up. This is a clear indication of the reach of such an event.
And the day that everyone was waiting for finally arrived. The stage was set to witness the rise of men in India, to come together and fight back and not just succumb to the powers which are generating misandry. There were common men, women, children, elderly, activists from all over the country, someone who cycled and spread awareness all the way, someone who came on a motorbike for over 1,000 miles, someone who has seen the world for over 90 years, someone who was falsely implicated, someone who has been thrown out by his loved ones, someone who wants his dignity back, someone who wants to bring about some change, someone who thinks that this is sacred and the only hope for mankind. So, the nobody, the somebody, the everybody, they were all there in thousands, without a slightest of botheration about the scorching heat or any kind of discomfort whatsoever. This was absolutely magnificent, spectacular rather, as something as big as this had never happened anywhere in the world for the cause of men. As the day progressed, there were speeches one after the other by various group leaders, men's rights activists. The vision was getting clearer. The paths were being paved. The crowd was getting inspired, excited and immensely motivated. It looked as if they wanted to come out of the closets, wanted to break the barriers and fight for their rights, their dignity, no matter what it takes to be there. There were stories shared. There were friends made. There was love and brotherhood in the air. And somewhere behind all this, there was anger, anguish and a desire to make themselves heard. Desire to scream inside those deaf ears. The memorandums to various ministries and authorities were sent. The media covered the cause. It was a known thing that it will take many such satyagrahas to win this battle.
The Constitution of India has given equal rights to both men and women. But what has happened over the last many years, a lot of political parties have created many laws which are gender biased and which are against men, as a result of which men are having extremely difficult time. And Save Indian Family has decided to raise the voice against these gender biased laws. And today, men from all over the country have gathered here at Jantar Mantar, and not only men, a lot of women who are mothers or sisters who have been impacted by these laws have also gathered with us to raise the voice against these laws. We have submitted a memorandum of our demands to Honorable Supreme Court of India, the President of India and the Prime Minister of India, and we are expecting a positive response from them.
The day was coming to an end, but some desires were still unfulfilled. Some people just said that enough was enough and decided that we will make more noise. And just before dusk, everybody gathered at the India Gate, and the monument which embraces the martyrs of the freedom struggle became witness to this one more movement which was asking for freedom. Freedom from the gender bias, the misandry, and the ever-rising male suicides.
In this protest, SIF Family Foundation demand from the Indian government to immediately formation of Men Welfare Ministry and amend the law like 498A, CRPC 125, child custody, rape law, workplace sexual harassment law. Immediate amendment is required to give the equal rights and justice to the men also, as men are human too.
The Save Indian Family movement, the men's rights movement of India, has come along in a true sense as a way of life for many, showing a path to happiness and a life with dignity.